Hi viewers and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is HP Fashions GY. In today's tutorial, we'll be learning on how to cut and sew this elegant structured sleeve. Okay, so I'll be taking the length of my sleeve length, right? So I'll draft out 10 inches while the original length is 12 inches. Okay, and the length of my pattern is 12 inches. So at this point now, I'll go ahead and take my sleeve curve. I'll go ahead and curve my sleeve the way I want it to be. Then I'll make the connection of my sleeve. Alright, so once that is done, I'll go ahead and cut it all out. Okay, I'll go ahead and cut it out. This is exactly the way my sleeve would be, the way I want it to be for the pattern. Alright, so after this is done, I'll go ahead and place my fabric folded into four. Okay, I'll fold my fabric into four, so I'll just get everything at once. Alright, so I'll make sure that my fabric is perfect and okay. Then I'll go ahead and place my pattern on my fabric, making sure that all sides are equal before I will go ahead and get the remaining measurement. Okay, so I'm just trying to confirm that the ones under are actually the same with the one on top. Alright, since I folded my fabric into four. Alright, so if I've confirmed it and it's okay, I'll go ahead and leave a measurement at about 3 inches at the front. Alright, I'll leave a measurement of about 3 inches at the front. Alright, so once this is done, I'll go ahead and take the shape of my armhole. I'll go ahead and take exactly the shape. Then I'll go ahead and I'll go up by 4 inches from my measurement. Then I will connect to this. All right, I'll connect to this from this point to the 4 inches. Then I will take my measurement from, okay, this is actually 12. All right, then I will go down by 1.5 inches. I'll go down by 1.5 inches, making 13.5 for both seam allowance and length. All right, so now I'll measure from this my initial measurement. I'll come down by 6.5 inches. Okay, so if this is done and everything okay, I'll start my measurement. I'll connect this my measurement to my 6.5 inches. All right, this is 4 inches, the extension of the sleeve. All right, so now I'll take off my pattern. Then I will just connect this way. All right, I will just connect this way, then take off my pattern measurement. All right, so if this is certain, I'll go ahead and cut it out. All right, so at this point now for the pattern, all right, I used exactly my sleeve measurement, adding up about 2.5 extra seam allowance. All right, so I included everything, then I added extra 3 inches allowance to my fabric at the front, which I just did now. All right, so I'll go ahead and cut this out. After cutting it out, I'll go ahead and get extra 2 of the main fabric, because the fabric will act as a lining as well. So after I've gotten it, I'll go ahead and get a hard stay that will meant to be inside the 2, folded into 4. Then I will cut it all at once for the both sleeve. Okay, so this hard stay is actually hard. I don't know what you call it, if it's a color gum, or some people use gum stay for this, but I wouldn't recommend a gum stay for this as well, because after washing it will have to drop. So this is actually the second sleeve. This is the sleeve that will act as the lining. So I place my sleeves together, the front facing each other, while the hard stay is behind the 2. All right, so at this point now, I'll have to place it very well, making sure that everything is okay. Then I will sew right at the tip, following the shape. Okay, so I just sew the tip now. So I'll go ahead and notch the tips like this. I'll go ahead and notch it. The reason is because it have a curved surface, so you really need to notch so that it will sit perfectly after ironing. Okay, it's very, very important. Don't sew without notching. All right, so this is how it looks like. So at this point now, we're not stopping right here. We'll go ahead and introduce our bone to this. we'll go ahead and introduce our bone to this. So I'll be leaving about half an inch at the front side while I place my bone right on the end. So all right, so this is it. I've started sewing my bone to this. I started to show this. I just started sewing my bone to this. Okay, I'll be sewing only one part of this bone. I won't be sewing the two sides. All right, so I'm done sewing my bone, and also I'll go ahead and turn my sleeve to the other side, facing the right side will face each other while the joining sides face each other as well. The joining side will face each other. All right, so at this point now I will start my sewing from the joining side. All right, I will stitch right from this side and sew all the way up. I will stitch right from this side. All right, so ensure your joining side faces each other and make sure it's actually accurate before you go ahead and sew. All right, I've sewn this side, so I'll start my sewing from this side again. All right, I will stitch from this side and sew all the way up to the other side of my fabric, which acts as the lining. All right, so the reason why I use the same fabric as the lining, because you know the sleeve is exaggerated and under will show. All right, so it has to be the same fabric to give us exactly what we want. All right, so at this point now I'll go ahead and flip to the right side of the fabric. I'll go ahead and turn it all up. I'll go ahead and turn it up. All right, so you're sure to do it perfectly, you're sure to do it well. It might not be easy because of course it's actually hard at this point. So I'll go ahead and turn it up. After turning it up, I'll go ahead and give it a nice press before I'll go ahead and top stitch. Okay, so ensure you bring out all the edges out perfectly. So at this point now I'm actually top stitching my sleeve to trim out any excess fabric and hard stay. All right, so I've ironed the tip, so I'll go ahead and give it a nice top stitching. Okay, of course extra hard stay will definitely pop out from the upper part. All right, so just ensure you iron first before you go ahead to give a top stitching, okay, to bring out a proper excess hard stay, if
This
possible,
is for one of
fabric
the sleeves.
for
So
you,
at this
but
point now,
for now it's
once
just
I'm done with
hard
this, I'll
stay.
go ahead and make
All
for the
right,
second sleeve.
so
So at this point now I'm done top stitching, so I'll just fold my sleeve into two from the joining side of the armhole. Then I'll mark about 6.5 inches on both sides. Then I will go ahead and plait on it. I'll go ahead and start plaiting on that side. All right, while I sew, I'll go ahead and plait, okay, till I get to the other side of the same 6.5 inches. All right, that's plaiting. Actually, the reason for the plaiting is to bring out the puff on the upper part of the shoulder when attached to the dress. Okay, so plaiting is actually very necessary for this sleeve. All right, so if you find this video very helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is HP Fashions GY. Don't forget to turn up your notification button, and don't also forget to share my videos. Okay, so at this point now I've gotten to the other side of the 6.5 which I marked. So after that, when you get to measure the armhole, you will get exactly the armhole measurement for the sleeve. Right, the armhole measurement I use for my dress is about 9.5 inches, because the measurement is actually for a big size. All right, so that was the reason why I use 9.5 inches. So after sewing, after plaiting, after joining, all right, this is what we came up with. All right, so this is what we came up with. So I'll go ahead and attach it to my dress. The way I will attach is just to connect it to the dress, the armhole part of the dress. The shaping sides, the armhole line will face the armhole line of the dress, although I did not really show how I joined it in this dress. All right, see you next time in my next video. Bye.